Our Ministry of External Affairs has categorically rejected China's recent claims, underscoring a firm and clear stance on the ongoing border tensions. The MEA has rejected China's claims, our sources have confirmed, saying that India's position on the mediation is clear. This as China had claimed credit for the India-Pakistan mediation. We have a reaction lined up for you coming in. Listen in.
外交弘扬和平、发展、公平、正义、民主、自由的全人类共同价值，致力于在世界上守正道、扬公道、行大道，坚定守护国际道义的底线。我们践行客观公正、标本兼治的中国特色热点问题解决之道，坚持不干涉内政、不拱火浇油、不拉偏架、不谋私利，一秉诚意，斡旋缅北、伊朗和印巴、巴以的矛盾，以及最近的减碳冲突。我们在事关国际道义的大是大非问题上，坚定站在历史正确一边，旗帜鲜明反对霸权主义和强权政治，向遭受不公的国家提供力所能及的道义和行动支持。关税战、贸易战损害各国正当权益，损害多边贸易体制，我们挺身而出，既是为了维护自身的正当权益。
Colleagues Aditya Raj Kaul and Vishal Vivek are tracking the latest responses and tracking China's remarks as well. Let's get in a quick word from Aditya first. Aditya, break down for us the specific claims by China that the MEA has rejected, and when can we expect an official response from the Ministry of External Affairs?
That has happened right now. This is what I'm picking up from sources that the government of India has rejected these claims, and this is the maintained position of the government of India. There is no official statement as such that is expected, because India has always maintained that there is no third-party intervention that has happened in this particular case during Operation Sindoor or after Operation Sindoor. And India has always maintained, be it Donald Trump, be it China, or be it any third country, that it was Pakistan's DGMO that had almost requested and begged India for a ceasefire after the devastation that they saw during Operation Sindoor. You saw at least 9 terror camps from Kotli to Bawalpur to Muridke being devastated completely. And then you saw Pakistani command control centers and Air Force bases being devastated completely, from Noor Khan base to Chaklala and others. So India has maintained and rejected these claims by Donald Trump, and this time around by the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, who had claimed that China had a role to play for an intervention during the India-Pakistan crisis. Well, they might have reached out to Pakistan to control them, but at this particular time, India has always maintained that it's a bilateral issue between India and Pakistan, right, and that's how it has always been dealt with.
Aditya, thanks so much. Vishal joins us live from the newsroom as well. Vishal, how is this likely to impact diplomatic ties between our two countries in the immediate term?
Good question, because we have seen in the recent past that there have been many, instances where India and China have extended that hand of friendship. So that could be affected in the wake of these comments, but we'll have to wait for, confirmed comments on from the MEA side. These are sources that have indicated that India has rejected these claims. These claims are outlandish nonetheless, because India has repeatedly stated that there is no way that there was some mediation from anyone. It was totally based on military to military leadership from both the sides. No one was involved. US had done the same in the past, and India had rejected each time that even US was not involved. So the fact that China has now swooped in and claimed credit for it is quite surprising, because it had not done so in the past. We have seen that China is a long-time ally of Pakistan, and to put it into perspective, almost 80% of weapons that Pakistan has in its arsenal is supplied by China. But it had not claimed credit for this mediation, whole scenario. But now that it is claiming on the last day of the year, it does come as a surprise. What it means, we'll have to wait for that. But it will be rejected nonetheless officially by the Indian side for sure.
Vishal, thanks so much for joining us with that update. Aditya, meanwhile, tell us, are there any indications behind the scenes from our sources that this stance will lead to escalation or increased efforts for dialogue?
Well, there's no question of a dialogue when terrorism continues from the Pakistani side, one. And 2025 has been a very important and critical year when it comes to Indian Army, Indian security forces, and the intelligence agencies. We saw, of course, the Pahalgam terror attack, which led to Operation Sindoor, and thereafter, again, the Red Fort terror attack by the Jaish-e-Mohammed. This is doctors module in which more than 10 people were killed as well. So at this particular time, there's no question of a dialogue with Pakistan. But more than 60 times, US President Donald Trump has come out in public and claimed that it was his intervention that led to the ceasefire, which is much far from reality. In reality, India will obviously never accept it, and that's what Trump will have to digest. And this time around, it is China. And it almost feels like Washington, D.C. and Beijing are in a competition to see and claim that it was their intervention that led to a ceasefire. But the larger problem is of Pakistan-sponsored terror. And until Trump and Wang Yi and others do not address that, there cannot be a larger solution, either in South Asia or globally, because Pakistan-sponsored terrorism is knocking India's doors. Tomorrow it could be Beijing and Washington, D.C.
Right. At this point, Aditya, there is curiosity regarding what could be China's motivation behind asserting credit for mediation when India has categorically denied involvement on many occasions, even, more than 10 times as far as US President Donald Trump is concerned too.
Well, it is more so to do with the global heft and narrative pushing that this is being done. Donald Trump, of course, has different reasons. One, he wants to improve the standing of America globally, which has taken a beat over the last few years. At the same time, China is also trying to play a significant role when it comes to global polity, when it comes to geopolitics and international security. So at this particular time, we saw that, during the Pahalgam terror attack, the terrorists were carrying Chinese weapons and Chinese equipment. So there's no question of China, trying to intervene or help build peace in this entire process. China, on the contrary, has been trying to, instigate at several occasions. Yesterday, they even questioned an Indian film, Battle of Galwan. So imagine what in reality they could be facing. So, these tactics are adopted by several countries to push their own narrative, to push their own agenda, especially with China, where there is no free press or questions being asked. They just peddle their own propaganda, which goes unanswered and which goes without asking any question. So, in this particular juncture, India has rejected any kind of such wild claims by China or America. There was no question of a mediation. There was no question of a third party, intervention. India has always maintained that it's a bilateral issue. There cannot be any possibility of a third party intervening or interfering in India's internal affairs.
Thank you so much, as always, Aditya. We leave it there for now.